You know, it's funny how music seeps into our lives in such unexpected ways. Today, Lucas and I fell into this deep, tuneful rabbit hole while daydreaming about sounds and cultures. We thought, why not turn one of our bucket list notes into reality, like a splendid symphony waiting to bloom, right? Voila! A music-inspired trip around the world started shaping in our minds, like an impromptu song. Imagine going across nations, tasting local beats, swaying with crowds at renowned music festivals. Exciting, non? I was chatting about this with our gang today. Max was all surprised and curious like a kid before Christmas. Hyeojin's eyes lit up with envy, and Pierre, oh mon Dieu, Pierre's face was a sight to behold when I mentioned French festivals. Already picturing Hellfest Open Air Festival? It's like dive rolling into heavy metal heaven, isn't it? One festival that piqued my interest is I Love Techno Europe. It's safe to say Max almost had a techno heart attack when I said we'd check it out. In between the chat, Max is brewing a rad idea about building a festival attendance tracker app. Quite the coder he is, transforming chit-chat into innovations. Speaking of Max, both he and Pierre never miss a chance to shift gears towards work. One's coding, the other's mixing audios. Phew! And guess what? On Pierre's invitation, we're planning to wind down the day with French pastries and brunch at his place. Quite a cozy corner, if I say so. Reminds me of the mellow afternoons at home in Lyon with Mom whipping up a fresh batch of baguettes. Nostalgia, right? So, you remember the music trip idea we daydreamed about previously? Guess what? I got a taste of it today right here in Seoul, in an area called Hapjeong. And my goodness, it was quite a journey. If neighborhoods had a playlist, then Hapjeong's would be an indie mixtape. Each song as diverse and charming as the vintage cafes and colorful murals that dot the area. Together with Wonjin, that savvy local guide I've been hanging out with, we dived beneath the realms of mainstream K-pop and found ourselves in a treasury of obscure music mellow lanes, humming with the authentic resonance of local talents. The sound was far from the polished, processed tunes you'd expect. Rather, it felt genuine, raw, and strikingly rich, like a painting that demands attention amidst a gallery of similar artworks. Wonjin turned out to be quite the knowledgeable guide, enlightening me about each music scene we visited, as if he himself had watched them bloom from anonymous garages to becoming the heart and soul of Hapjeong. Thanks to him, I didn't feel like a stranger in the crowd anymore, but a part of this pulsating music community that embraced everyone with open arms, unifying people under the umbrella of shared rhythm and lyrics. Okay, I have to say this. You would absolutely have adored one band we discovered today called Sunset Blooms. Now, this isn't just a recommendation. Consider it an imperative from one music heart to another. Their indie vibes were both nostalgic and refreshing, a little bit like sipping hot chocolate on a rainy day while flipping through vintage records. I filled the gang in about the day, and boy, they are sold on exploring Hapjeong themselves. Heejin is already hungry for unexplored music scenes. Max is looking forward to new additions for his never-ending coding playlist, and enthusiast Pierre, he could barely contain his joy at the mention of music exploration. It's amusing how every conversation with him ends up having something to do with audio mixing, isn't it? Oh, and guess what? You and I have been appointed the official music scouts for our gang. No pressure, just a tiny task of keeping an eye out for all the brilliant new bands before they hit the charts. But promise me that when that bucket list music trip of ours comes to life, we'll be ready with a list so melodious that it would turn the world into our dance floor. Ah, the world of dance ceases to amaze me. You remember, right? How I would lose myself in hours and hours of practice, the floor my canvas and my body, a brush painting expressions into existence. Well, today was one of those days again, painting not with the swift and powerful strokes of K-pop routine, but with the subtle intricacies and passionate intensity of Argentine tango. Oh mon Dieu, think of it like a tantalizing dessert, each step a spoonful of mixed flavors of seduction and danger. It was certainly a change, a spicy one at that, from the rhythmic pulses of our K-pop beats to the raw, sensual demeanor of tango's irresistible rhythm that seemed to entangle you in a mesmerizing dance of fiery emotions. And the bandoneon, oh my, the haunting resonance triggered raw feelings, intertwining the dancers into a sequence of intense passion. It's all so dramatic and enticing. Prancing around with a partner was perhaps the cherry on top. It's such an intimate bond, you know, the intricate sequence of movements harmonizing two people in a beautiful dance of emotions. And there I was, completely surrendering to this new dance form, sinking in the poetic rhythm just like a leaf dancing with the wind. Oh, it was an orchestra of steps, adding new notes to my life's symphony. Well, guess who got caught up in the excitement too? Hee-jin and the others were absolutely delighted by my little tango adventure. Max, ever the skeptical one, was worried about the tricky steps, but I told him it's all part of the fun. The idea of dancing in sync with another person got Hee-jin quite curious, though. Pierre, being the music enthusiast he is, was thrilled by my mention of the bandoneon. And then, Max started joking about using the surrender to rhythm mantra in his coding tasks. Oh my, I laughed so hard at that. I challenged him to code while performing a giro, a tango spin. Well, I think we should all remember this moment when Max unveils his next big coding success. The fun we have, I tell you. Our chats, they felt like a warm day by the Seine again, filled with laughter, humor, dreams, and those cute little competitive streaks. Our friendship feels so much like a dance itself, with its ups and downs, those beautiful moments of synchrony, a wingman to your solo, a band to your voice, a rhythm to your melody. All I can say is I wouldn't trade us for anything. Hee-jin's auditions are up next week. With the star that she is, she's bound to dazzle the stage. Makes me think back on my auditions, those jitters, that adrenaline. But the rush of standing on the stage, of connecting with an audience, there's absolutely nothing that parallels it, right? Just noticed how caught up I got in the tango talk. I should probably rest my dancing feet now.